Hey everyone, this is Sage Valentine, and this is my review of Survivor Cagayan, Season 28, Episode 5. The three tribes known as Brains versus Beauty versus Brawn are no more. And unfortunately, Luzon figured that after the tribal council of getting rid of Jatia, they basically... this was their new chance. This was where they could start anew. But unfortunately, Jeff Probst and the producers of Survivor had something else in mind. And, well, everybody was combined together right before the reward challenge. Jeff Probst made all of the tribe members drop their buffs. And they each had to pick a covered buff up from this little basket, and whatever color they had to move with their like-minded fellow contestants, or like-colored fellow contestants. And, well, we had two new tribes created, one is Apari. Well, they're no longer Beauty and Brawn and Brains anymore, but they still have those tribal names. Apari, which is Tasha, Spencer, Sarah, Morgan, Cass, Jeremiah, and Alexis. And Solana, which is Tony, Cliff, LJ, Wu, Trish, Jeffra, and Lindsay. Sarah's the only one left on Apari, and LJ and Jeffra are the only two left on Solana. And this whole tribal, combination made me wonder about Miss Sarah, because I said, Sarah, now you wanted to Cliff out, now you won't be able to get what you want. Kind of sucks for you, Sarah, but they had to do some type of thing for the reward challenge where they had to wrap their arms and legs around a pole, and then two people would run over, pull them off the pole, and drag them across the line. Well, during Lindsay's little melee, Lindsay kicked Sarah in the face, and I was sitting there I wonder, did she do that on purpose, or was that an accident? And has she been wanting to do that to Miss Sarah? Tasha, on the other hand, Tasha was like a stone. No one could move her. Even when they moved her arms, they still couldn't move her legs. And when they moved their legs, they couldn't move her arms. Tasha's just strong, and she just stayed on that pole. And I was like, Tasha, this is why I back you. This is why you and LJ are my spirit animals, because both of you guys, crazy, completely crazy strong, crazy smart, love it. But anyway, I really feel like Jatia was holding Tasha and that tribe back. I feel like she should have been gone since day one. I've been saying that since the first video of Survivor 28 that I did. I was like, listen, Jatia needs to go. This team will be more compact. But David and Garrett had other things in mind and messed everything up. Sorry, guys. You guys are at home watching the show. So Solana won. And they won, all these desserts and coffee and stuff like that. LJ wants to be perceived as a player rather than a threat. He reminds us that he has his little immunity idol. Love you, LJ. And he sees that Trish is trying to make eyes at her. She's trying to, him. She's trying to, flirt with him, playing the whole game like that. But the problem with Trish is that Trish is very transparent in doing so. One thing about the girls on Solana, or the girls on Solana who've played and been contestants, they do it, but they're not as transparent. You see them doing it, but it's just Trish, it's Lindsay even brought up Trish, her laugh changed as soon as she was around men and everything else. And some people on the internet were talking about her hanging skin on her stomach, she lost that much weight and it's only been a week. Dang, that's a lot of weight. All this skin was hanging from her stomach. I said, ooh, wow. And Cliff feels like he and his fellow tribe mates are in a great position since there's only two people left on Beauty. Little does he know that his words later come back to bite him right in the bottom. But Sarah was scared to be on her tribe with three people from Beauty and three people from Brawn. Sorry, guys. Brains. 3 smart people, 3 pretty people. But at least they have 2 bags of rice, so Cass, Tasha, and Spencer won't go hungry since Jatia went all kamikaze with the rice and poured it over and poured it into the fire. So Sarah starts talking about, this whole thing, whereas the contestants who were chosen as weak in the beginning had to choose either rice or a clue to the immunity idol, and Garrett chose the idol, because obviously the camp of Luzon, they didn't have any extra rice. Trish is the reason why Apari has 2 bags of rice. And obviously this ends up outing Morgan, because when Morgan's tribe mates return, they didn't have all that rice. So everybody knows Morgan had that immunity clue, idol clue. And what ends up happening is that, like, everyone's talking, and it's just like all her beauty members are just like, listen, this is adding another ember to the fire, another red flag to the 101. I'm like, I think you mean 102 flags now, Mr. Jeremiah. All of a sudden, Alexis, being the genius that she is, sarcastically, is jumping ship and trying to join the Brains team. And in doing so, she starts airing out their business and telling all these things of this person said this and that person said that. I'm like, you know what? This is crazy. Like, you guys just got together. And again, they are just, the beauty tribe is just like that team. I think they were called the Caucasian or the white team from that season. I forgot what season it was. And when they split everybody into races, and that team just tore each other apart from the beginning, I said, damn, you guys are just got here. That's exactly what Alexis is doing, and she's trying to jump ship. Spencer sees right through it, and he's like, listen, he was like, we can play these beauties against each other because they're all a bunch of high schoolers. They're talking about each other in front, blah, 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 blah. Sorry, guys. They're talking about each other in front of said person's face. They are spreading rumors, like, they have very little social skills. I'm like, okay, the Brains all decide, like, listen, we're going to stick together. And I said, this is the smartest move that you guys have made so far. Jeremiah feels like he's in the outs, but duh, we all know that. You played 2 sides against each other. You and Morgan both have red flags over your head. On top of that alliance that you guys made, since you got out Bryce, you put a red flag on yourself, Jeremiah. So, again, the Brains are in the best position. Okay, Jeffra on Sulana. Jeffra and Trish go off to do something, and all of a sudden Trish starts talking about Lindsay's not her friend, and she wants Cliff out. Where this is coming from, I don't know. They've been perceiving Cliff as a threat since day one, I guess because he's tall. He's a former basketball player, so maybe he has money, blah, 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 obvious reasons included, whatever. So she said that he's lazy, he hasn't been doing anything. Last time I checked, she was saying Lindsay was lazy. How it switched from Lindsay and right to Cliff is the genius of, voice all stuck up, is the genius of Tony. Tony's still weaving these webs, still doing this. And the sad part was he started with Sarah, and then all of a sudden jumped all the way over to Trish, and Trish just fell on into it. Trish was like, well, I'm naive. I said, you definitely are naive, and you're doing all of Tony's work, and he is gunning for you after he guns for either LJ or Cliff. If they get rid of Cliff, he's gunning for LJ, then he's coming for you. Jeffra sees this as an opening, this dissension is an opening for her and LJ to, join the group and kick out Cliff. Trish wants Cliff out and continues like this whole scheme. Like I said, Tony was the mastermind of. The immunity challenge basically goes off without a hitch, and surprisingly, Apari wins with the Brains. So like I said, Jatia was the albatross of the team. They all got together. The beauty girls stepped their game up. Jeremiah and Spencer worked together. Everybody was A-okay. But before it even started, one thing that kind of hindered them was the fact that all those 3 beauty girls decided that the 2 beauty girls with Sarah decided that they really didn't want to discuss what they were good at and what they weren't good at. It just took forever, this whole rock, paper, scissors thing. And I'm like, that's suspect. Like, what are you 3 trying to do? Seriously, what are you guys trying to do? So, Apari won immunity thanks to Jeremiah, Spencer, and Tasha, because Tasha really helped out this one. Tasha was pulling her weight, definitely, and then some. Tony has his sights set on getting LJ out when Trish comes to him, talking about getting out of Cliff. Like, let's get out Cliff, let's kick him out. I'm saying to myself, LJ, please, tonight, when you go to Tribal Council, bring your immunity idol. LJ's all upset because they lost. He hates losing. But I can tell you, Sarah, Alexis, and there's a third. I think it's Sarah. Who is on that team? It's Sarah, Alexis, and Morgan didn't pull their weight. Like, even Cass and Tasha pulled their weight. Those three did not pull their weight. And that was very, very, very suspect. But they needed somebody to blame. So Trish and LJ are talking. And they want Cliff out. And LJ is saying, you know, Cliff is suspicious. He's not working. He's aligned with Lindsay. I know, they didn't even mention anything about Lindsay. But that comes to mind with this. But I'm saying to myself, Lindsay isn't doing anything, so shouldn't Lindsay, since you hate Lindsay so much, why not get out Lindsay? Nope, didn't want that. So they go to Tony, and Tony's not down for it. Tony doesn't know what he's going to do. Or so he tells us. Secretly, he knows every move he's making, and he's orchestrating it until somebody finally outs him, and I hope that comes very soon. They claim that there's a weak link in the 5 when they get to Tribal Council. That weak link is obviously, that weak link, sorry guys, is obviously Cliff. Tony chose Cliff's name, saying that Cliff it's not personal, it's strategic. What strategy is it getting rid of Cliff, to be honest? But Cliff got too comfortable, and Tony ended up getting what he wanted. So was this move stupid? Yes, because you're on a team with all these girls, okay? It is you, Tony, LJ, Woo, and Cliff. And then you have Jeffra, Lindsay, and Trish. No offense to Lindsay, but Jeffra doesn't do anything. Jeffra's just along for the ride, and Jeffra's probably going to try to ride this train until it ends. I hope somebody outs her and puts her out, because Jeffra's not doing anything. Trish, please. Trish says, like, she has her eyes so much on LJ that she's going to eventually let LJ win the game just because he's cute. He's from Massachusetts. Honestly, in this game, I don't care where you're from. People don't care, because this is all about money. People are not worried about, because this one comes from this place, or this one comes from this place, or we're both black, or we're both white. This is about money, people. Money. This is not about anything but money, and people will say whatever the hell they can do to get to the end. A la Richard Hatch. Yes, I remember Richard Hatch. I was 14 when that came out. And that first season came out. Richard Hatch said whatever he wanted to, and that other girl went along for the ride. I can't even think of her name. That's how you know that Richard Hatch was that much of a snake. Couldn't even remember her name, but I remembered his name because they said, let the mouse eat the snake. That was, what was her name? I can't think of her name. If you remember who it was that made that comment from season 1, definitely put it in the comments, but this was the dumbest move ever to get rid of Cliff. I understand Cliff is suspicious. I understand he's running things, but you need him because you have 3 girls who basically can't do anything. And are not going to try to do anything at all. Because Trish is too busy complaining. And Lindsay and Trish next week are supposed to be at each other's throats. So, I mean, like, you just let Cliff leave, but you're keeping LJ. And LJ, I love LJ. He's my favorite character. He's my favorite contestant, my favorite character, whatever you want to call it on the show. But you guys had the numbers. All you had to do was stay with the 5, knock out the 2, and go on. But Tony has this agenda, and Tony's agenda is going to end up getting him out very, very soon. Very soon. Like I said, the girls are the reason why Apari lost. Those 3 do absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And next week it's supposed to be Trisha and Lindsay fighting, so that's going to be a big mess. But finally it's happening, so they can hash that out and get back to this game. But so far I've lost 2 players on my list of favorite players. Not happy. I lost Cliff and Bryce. So far my favorite players now are Tasha, Spencer, Cass, and LJ. I'm not really with all the rest of the women because Sarah is too busy doing Tony's dirty work. She's probably still doing Tony's dirty work, to be honest. Trish is more concerned with what Lindsay's doing, and Lindsay's back at her with the da-da-da-da-da. The other girls really aren't doing much. I'll probably add Morgan to this. Maybe I should just add Morgan to that list, because I forgot I did have Morgan there. Because those beauty girls stepped their game up, but Jeffra didn't do a damn thing, so I mean, it is what it is. But anyway, guys, just thank you for tuning in, and I'm so glad that, you know, the Brains team actually won something, because they actually put their heads together. They had a chance to without any mess, without any drama. They're basically drama-free, so these 3 may just be around for a while. That's why they're my 3 favorites. So, and somebody please, if you can, get out Tony. Tony and Jeremiah both need to go, because Jeremiah's playing 2 sides against the middle, and he's trying to play like such and such and such, but he's gonna eventually mess up and do the same thing he did when he was still a part of Solana. And Tony can't be trusted. If anyone in that game couldn't be trusted, it was definitely Tony, not Cliff. But anyway, guys, if you like this video and you've watched my other Survivor videos or any other video on my channel, definitely subscribe. I would love to have more subscribers. And if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. And if you agree or disagree with my POV on this episode, definitely let me know. Comment. I want you to. So if you guys ever are on Twitter during the next broadcast of Survivor for episode 6, I'm at Sage Valentine. So definitely tweet me, tweet at me, tweet with me, whatever, what have you. And if you want a little light reading, you can definitely go on WordPress and read The Truth Is. And I have a very old blog called I Hope You Can Handle It. It was from my different days when I was younger, so it's got a lot of old blogs, but it's a lot of things that apply, and they can basically apply to anybody. Even though the subject matter seems to be targeted towards a specific group, it can apply to anyone. So anywho, guys, thanks for tuning in, and you guys have an awesome Wednesday and an awesome rest of the week. And if you want to, definitely check out my video for Hannibal. That's gonna be some crazy mess this weekend. But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Bye, guys. Mwah. Bye.